can take the children, bounce them on their knees. Bounce them on their knees and then sing a melody. The Barnett man, did you miss my?
What they do, YouTube? It's your boy King David in this thing, and I'm back at y'all again with another video. So before I get going on this video, man, I'm gonna need y'all to go ahead and hit that like button, and if you're new here, be sure to subscribe one time for your boy so we can continue to grow like we need to grow on this channel. You know what I mean? Alright, so with all that out the window, man, y'all see what the title of the video is. Canelo Alvarez versus Dmitry Bivol. The problem with Canelo Alvarez versus Dmitry Bivol and the Dazn deal. You know what I mean? Alright, so on point. So first and foremost, man, I want to make sure that y'all understand, man. Canelo Alvarez versus Dmitry Bivol, I actually like the fight. I think Dmitry Bivol is definitely one of the toughest opponents Canelo Alvarez could possibly fight. I think Dmitry Bivol is a solid dude. He's a big dude. He has pretty good boxing skills. You know, I think he's going to give Canelo a tough fight, if not beat Canelo. There's a lot of people who think that, Canelo's going to run through this dude, and I don't think so. Most of the people who think that are Canelo Alvarez fanboys anyway. I think this is going to be a real tough fight, and I'm looking forward to it. You know what I mean? But the problem with this fight, and the problem with this whole Dazn fight deal, right? The problem with all this shit, well, there's two major problems, right? The first and most significant problem is Dazn with this deal, okay? For those of you who don't know, Dazn offered Canelo Alvarez $85 million. Those were the reports. $85 million for a two-fight deal for Dmitry Bivol and Triple G. That is the deal that was presented to to Canelo Alvarez, right? But it's like, how could Dazn offer Triple G and Bivol for $85 million when you got Demetrius Andrade over there at Dazn and he's not included in this deal? Like, why is Demetrius Andrade not included? Like, why isn't he one of the fighters that Dazn is putting up this money for? Why isn't Demetrius Andrade and Dmitry Bivol up for this $85 million Dazn deal? You know what I mean? Why is it not Triple G and Demetrius Andrade? Why did they not put up the money, the $85 million for Demetrius Andrade and Triple G, or Demetrius Andrade and Dmitry Bivol, rather than Dmitry Bivol and Triple G? Why is it that Dazn saw fit to put up such big money for these two guys, but not Demetrius Andrade? This is the problem with this shit. This is that racist shit right here. This is that bullshit. You got Triple G that's lost to Canelo twice already, right? He's got two opportunities to beat Canelo Alvarez, and there's people, you know, I mean, there's a lot of people who say he beat Canelo Alvarez both times. Fine, cool. Nevertheless, he lost twice already. Dazn put up the money for them to fight. He lost twice already. Yet Dazn's willing to put up another $40-50 million for a third Triple G fight rather than a Demetrius Andrade fight. You got Dmitry Bivol, a guy that people barely know who the fuck that nigga is. Okay? And I'm not kidding at all when I say people barely know who the fuck that nigga is. People barely know who Dmitry Bivol is. So, stop all the cap before you come at a nigga talk about, oh, he's a big draw, he's this, he's that. No, Dmitry Bivol ain't none of that. Ain't nobody heard of this dude. Barely. He's a good fighter, he's a strong fighter, but that's not the point. Because a lot of the arguments that people want to make for Canelo not fighting Andrade is because he's not a big draw. But at the same time, Dmitry Bivol isn't a big draw. So what's the purpose in fighting Dmitry Bivol and not Demetrius Andrade? You know what I mean? So that's problem number one right there. That's some bullshit. Why isn't Dazn willing to put up the 40 or 50 million dollars for a Demetrius Andrade in a Canelo Alvarez? Why are they willing to put up the so-called the white European fighters? Why are they willing to put up big money for these guys, but not big money for Demetrius Andrade? So that's the first problem that I have with this. And again, I got no problems with Dmitry Bivol. I got no problems with Canelo fighting Dmitry Bivol. I think that it's a good fight. But the problem is Dazn putting up big money for a Dmitry Bivol and for a third Triple G fight, but not willing to make the same kind of investment in a fighter that's been with them for the last 4 or 5 years and unable to secure any big fights as a result of it. So that's my first problem. Okay? Actually, there's 3 problems. My second problem is they're offering Canelo Alvarez Triple G, right? They're offering Canelo Alvarez Dmitry Bivol, right? So does that mean that Triple G is gonna move up to 168 pounds finally? After all these years of Triple G saying he's a 160 pounder, saying he ain't fighting, he ain't going up to 168, moving slow as fuck, not wanting to shake nothing at all. Andre Ward calling him out. Been at the same weight class for the last 10 years. But for Canelo Alvarez now, Triple G is willing to move up to 168 pounds. But the thing about it is, we don't know for a fact that it's at 168 pounds. So the other side of the coin to this argument is Canelo moving down to 160 because at the end of the day, Triple G is a 160 pounder. So no matter how you look at this situation between Canelo and Triple G, it's some bullshit. Either you got one guy moving down to a weight class that he said he was done with, in the case of Canelo Alvarez, or you got another guy in Triple G moving up to a weight class that he said he would never go to, that he said he was too small for, that he refused to move up when other 168 pounders like Andre Ward were calling him to move up for in the past. So there's my second problem with this shit. And then on to my third problem with this whole situation. Okay? And that's Canelo Alvarez fighting Dmitry Bivol at 175 pounds. If it's at 175 pounds, because we still don't know that. So if Dmitry Bivol moves down to 168, I think we all know that that's a problem because now you're fighting a drained fighter. But if he moves down to 168 pounds, I mean, I think we all see the issue with that. But I think everybody expects Canelo to move to 175, right? Okay, so if Canelo moves to 175, right? And this is supposed to be a fight that's supposed to be for May. Why have we not heard anything about Canelo dropping these belts at 168 pounds? How long is Canelo Alvarez gonna hold these belts hostage? Yes, I understand he just became undisputed in May. Yes, I understand that he just collected these belts last year. But according to this whole report about him fighting Dmitry Bivol in May and Triple G in September, and maybe somebody like a Macaboo after that, right? Clearly, none of those fights are going to be at 168, maybe aside from the Triple G fight. That may be at 168, but that's a problem, right? Either way, how long is Canelo gonna hold on to these belts? Why hasn't he vacated these belts yet? And this is the problem with dudes like Canelo Alvarez. You announce to the world that you plan on fighting at every other weight class other than the one you're supposed to be champion at. Other than the class that you're supposed to be defending against the best super middleweights in the world. You're fighting at all these different weight classes, but you're holding on to belts at 168 pounds. Why have we not seen Canelo drop these motherfucking belts? Yes, I understand that he just finalized this deal with Dazn and that sort of thing, and now it's officially official. Okay, fine. But step number 2 should be vacation of these belts at 168 pounds. So we can get some of the other guys in that weight class to fight for these belts and create some of the unification fights that we want to see at 168 pounds. Damn Canelo and what the fuck he got going on at the end of the day. He's not trying to fight David Benavidez or Dmitry Andrade or Jamal Charlo or any of these dudes. So drop the belts and let these dudes fight for the belts at 168 pounds. I know David Benavidez doesn't want to fight Dmitry Andrade. I know Dmitry Andrade want to fight David Benavidez. So drop them belts and let's see if we can get a unification fight at 168 pounds. Let's see David Morrell become the WBA champion. Let's see if he's willing to jump in the ring with the other champions. Let's see if Jamal Charlo is able to move up to 168 pounds and get that WBC belt. Let's see what happens with that. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, not WBC, but maybe IBF belt. Let's see him fight Caleb Plant or one of these other dudes. You know what I mean? But you know, this is the big problem with this fight. This is the big problem with this whole Dazn shit, right? This whole Dazn lineup shit. This is my problem with it. These are the problems. This is how this situation kind of fucks up boxing. You know what I'm saying? This is how. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna wrap the video up here, man. I'm gonna end it right here. Let me know what your thoughts is. Hit it up in the comment section below. If you're new to the channel, again, be sure to subscribe. And everybody, and I do mean everybody, be sure to hit that goddamn like button. But until next time, goddamn, peace.
One thing, if you check it out, Mexicans used to be very great fighters. When you go back to old school, old Mexicans, they were tough. They fight anybody on a challenge, but not today's Mexicans. They all duck top black boxers.